This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. We are going to talk about your parents today. And maybe that conjures up a visual of wonderful parents. Maybe there were some challenges along the way, but ultimately, the best parent you ever had is you. And imagine if you could go back and maybe kind of change a couple of things, like right now. Could you? Well, yes, you can. There's ways to do that, and it can change your life. We're going to talk with somebody today that's going to give us clues and lots of insight. He's a clinical psychologist, a counseling psychologist as well. Hypnotherapy practices that, energy psychology as well. And it's so great to have Dr. Will Newman back with us on the program. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I've learned so much in the times that we've gotten together, as we all have. And one of the things that always comes up is where the child within us and how the child has had some challenges, whether you believe it or not. There's things there in your childhood that may be holding you back from being the person you want to be as an adult, but that it's very possible to be a parent to yourself, the child within, i.e., reparent yourself and change those things. And one of the modalities is hypnotherapy. And that's what we're going to kind of dig into today, isn't it?
Yes, hypnotherapy for healing childhood developmental trauma and the symptoms that come with it, mostly anxiety and anxiety disorders and depression and addictions.
So just to recap, before we get into hypnotherapy, you may have had the best in your mind. You may have had the best childhood. Everything was great. My parents were fantastic. Everything was wonderful. I had my needs met. We had a great time, took vacations, everything. And that may be true, but that doesn't mean that you have things from your childhood that you potentially need to heal from, if not all of us. And those things could be holding us back in a lot of ways as an adult, right?
Yes, and they may be things that hold us back because of symptoms that follow the difficulties in child development, such as anxiety and depression, or addictions, or relationship problems, concentration, focus, and many other symptoms.
Let's look at it as the perfect parent or parents for us. We could change that, whether your parents were great or not. No judgment whatsoever. No, I'm not throwing any parents under the bus at all. But we can actually look at it that way, and through the eyes of my parents were perfect, and now I feel so much better, and do that through hypnotherapy.
Yes, and it can be done by imagining yourself gradually and slowly getting into a deeper and deeper relaxed state. And that's through regulating your breath slowly and allowing your body to fall into a calmness with waves of relaxation. And the more you can do that, that's called the induction. The more relaxed the mind and body becomes, the more the brain waves slow down for the subconscious mind to emerge. And there are varying degrees of hypnotizability. And for one who was able to get into this relaxation with concentration, I introduce a treatment called ideal parenting that I learned from a colleague who learned it from Tibetan monks when he went there to study Tibetan Buddhist meditation, the late Daniel Brown. And he was taught that they used ideal parenting whenever people practiced meditation and could imagine having parents who gave them what they needed in the past that they may not have received, that is most healthy, that we've talked about previously, that I will summarize: safety, protection, soothing, comfort, guidance, direction, support, encouragement, and delight. And after I lead a person into a state of relaxation and concentration, I ask them to imagine anybody that they have read about in books or have seen in a television program or a movie. Sometimes people can recall old TV programs such as Leave It to Beaver or Little House on the Prairie, or movies where such as A Happy Life. And imagine those people as your ideal parents. Once you get into a relaxed state of concentration where you can see yourself at the youngest age growing up with the ideal parents that you imagine, and follow their words and actions developmentally from the youngest age you can imagine throughout the entire childhood development into the early adolescence, into the late adolescence, until you leave home and go to a university or college or independent living on your own. And imagine in detail receiving protection, safety, soothing, guidance, direction, comfort, delight, lots of laughter, lots of hugs, kisses, participation, presence, interest, asking lots of questions. Imagine it in as much detail as you can through each developmental age, slowly and in as much detail as possible. And people who have higher hypnotizability are able to do that with the imagined ideal parents, either that they take from books or movies or television, or what they imagine, and that they absorb the energy of the feeling of experiencing the 5 characteristics of significant attachment that they needed that they didn't get. And by repeating this over and over, people are able to correct the symptoms and reduce and some often extinguish the symptoms that occurred by not getting the parenting or being abused or neglected or deprived, or not getting the presence or the laughter or the delight or the guidance or the direction. And some people are able to do it in a session or 2 or 3. And for those who are not hypnotizable so easily and are not able to concentrate on imagining ideal parents in a hypnotized state, I ask them to tune into their body and notice any feelings in their body that might start out to be physical or emotional.
So at this juncture, 2 questions. The first one is, you identified all the things that, or just made a list of many things that we would want as children from our parents. And it was a wonderful list. Yeah. And you eloquently fire all of them off, like 10, 15. Yes, fantastic. Is it safe to say, even if you think things were okay in your childhood, that every one of those qualities or needs, everyone probably wasn't met? Again, nothing against parents, and every child is different, so they may have internalized things in a different way. Is it reasonable to think that all of those weren't met as a child?
It's very reasonable. Uh, Reasonable enough to say that most people don't experience all of those developmental needs exactly in the most healthy way that are needed
That are
by
needed. That's the key there. The parent could have been maybe checked almost all those boxes for the child, but maybe not in a way that the child needed it. I needed a little bit more soothing. I needed a little bit more encouragement, whatever it might be. So that being said, are you saying, Dr. Will, that we could, through hypnosis, think of perfect parents from a TV show, movie, whatever, and that feeling that you get, oh, they're just wonderful parents, just, we great to live in that house. Recreate that or create that within yourself and heal that child within using hypnotherapy.
yes,
Mm,
that
wow.
is what we're saying, and it's delightful to see the successful outcome for the people that it works well with.
Mm, amazing. It
It
really
is.
is.
It is.
Mm.
And,
I-
the mind develops mental constructs, and in a deep state of concentration with relaxation, which we call a hypnotic state, those
Mm,
imagined mental constructs begin to take on the vibration of the energy of the imagined good emotions: soothing, comfort, delight, laughter, encouragement, guidance, directions. They all feel so good, and they're so nourishing and encouraging and energizing and peaceful and calming.
mm.
The body takes on those positive emotions. It's an example of uh, what we may call positive psychology.
Is it possible for someone who, let's say, they've started meditating and they're at that point in their life where they're better connected with themselves, and maybe they haven't gone through full healing and hypnosis and things, but they're in a good, they figured themselves out a little bit more. Maybe you could even say that they love themselves. They're finally at that point in their lives. Would it be possible, even during a quiet meditation, to think of those things that you just said? Think of the child within them and think of those things, I'm so happy, call it mom or dad. They love me so much. They support me. They get me, they understand me. And conjure those feelings within during not a hypnosis, but a meditation where you're just maybe even yourself hypnotizing yourself and you don't even know it. Is it possible for that to start the healing right there?
Yes, it is, because we become energetically what we focus on and think about, because our thoughts generate neurotransmission. And I explain to the people that I treat that the neurons that fire wire. So if you concentrate with clarity and focus and enthusiasm on good experiences that are nurturing and healing and energizing and safe and delightful and happy, those neural pathways develop the more one concentrates on those good feelings. And
Hmm.
it creates a new neural pathway that then becomes the direction for the mind to stay focused and centered on more often than not, versus more often than not on the imagined fear, uncertainty, hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness, guilt, shame, self-loathing,
Mm.
that take a person down into a downward spiral of depression and despair and addiction, confusion, and a loss of direction.
Well, many of us ride there, and they call it the victim mentality, or many of us are addicted to suffering. So, in our moments, even of just a moment of free time, we may be sitting there thinking of negative things, things that hurt us. Even with your parents, you might be start going back there. But when you say that's not productive, and if you're going to have thoughts like that, change them around. And what could have been, or what is in our minds, because the child within us doesn't know now, or 50 years ago, whatever.
Yes.
Better to focus on that and what could be.
Yes.
Mm.
And that's what another treatment leads a person to do with oneself that we described in past podcasts as self-parenting.
Yep.
That was originally written about, called ego state therapy, and popularized by internal family systems therapy, working with the parts of the mind directly. And that can be done as well. And one follows the lead of the body to get in touch with the part of the mind that's causing the feeling of the body related to the painful feelings of the emotion. And that treatment works for many people as well. And I tell everybody that I see that there isn't one particular treatment that may work best for everybody. There's different treatments. That's why I give them the exposure of different treatments as to what is most effective for them based on their own unique experiences.
Well, let's get out of the way here. All the aversions that many have to hypnotherapy. I understand it. Some people think it's mind control and all of that. I can tell you firsthand, that was the game changer for me. That's where I had the realizations. When I first had hypnotherapy, I said to the practitioner, take me back to my childhood. It wasn't horrible, but there was stuff there. I already knew back then, and this is probably 4 years ago. Just let's go back. Let's look at that. It was amazing, profound, life changing. And here's the thing: under hypnosis, I could have stopped, as you know, any moment. I could have said, "No, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm good. Nope, nope." And it's not that somebody like you can get in my head and read my mind or make me do things I don't want to do. None of that. It's basically, I look at it as you're giving me the key to my mind to open it
Yes.
up so I can do some work myself and close it up and move on. That's all it is. It's amazing.
That is a clear, simple description of what it truly is versus what it is not. It's a self-help therapeutic healing tool.
It has helped me in even sleeping. I don't know if I shared this, but I had a session with a hypnotherapist, wow, maybe 2 years ago. And there was a goal, achieve the goal. They had provided me with audio and they said, yeah, listen to it for, if you can, maybe 21 days just to reinforce, what,
Yes.
and it wasn't of our session. They just made a separate recording. It was like 21 minutes. But I found that I would listen to that and about 8 minutes into the recording, if that, I'd fall asleep. So I would use that to fall asleep. And I got to believe that my mind is still listening. So I'm either further reinforcing that goal. But that just goes to show you how wonderful it is. I'm just listening to a recording and I'm zoning
Yes.
off. And it's such a relaxing, peaceful place when you're working with hypnotherapy. Can it be emotional because you see things from your past and you feel them? Yeah, it can be, but that's where the breakthroughs happen.
Yes. And hypnotherapy, using hypnosis is very effective for people whom I treat with insomnia and others with pain management.
Yeah. Wow. What do you want people to know about reparenting themselves? Anything that, maybe we don't realize?
That anything that you are feeling emotionally that's painful is not permanent. That you can have hope with motivation and inspiration to heal it by applying the therapeutic methods that we're describing, or others that I haven't described yet that I'll describe in future podcasts. That the old saying, if there is a will, there is a way, is true. And to choose optimism, to choose to be hopeful, to choose to be positive, and never doubt the opportunity that there is a way to heal if you continue to stay motivated and inspired to focus on it.
Is it all, essentially all, to heal, come down to reparenting oneself?
I would say much of it. There are more biological or organic mental health problems that aren't so easily healed with these methods. I would say that most or many, it comes down to following a treatment with a qualified psychologist or psychotherapist with the methods that we're discussing.
And that's
The
not
will to heal.
You have to want to. That's the other part. Thank you for saying that. You have to want to. None of this is going to work. You have to really say, yeah, we all have stuff, all of us, and I want to move my life forward and feel that I deserve things in my life, feel that I'm worthy. And we'll just, with all of that, we factor out for just a moment things that came later in life that were traumas. I would imagine we're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about, from your childhood and those things holding us back.
Right.
Doctor,
that is healable for one who takes the steps to heal.
and that can be a lot of things can be healed that happen later in life, even through hypnotherapy. Love what you do, Dr. Will, and I really mean this. The compassion that you have to help others, you can feel it. Like it's not just well, this is my job, and I'm done at 5 p.m. today. You have a passion and compassion to help. What's the best way to find you, connect with you? Maybe somebody has a question.
You can reach me by emailing me at Dr. Bill Newman, Newman @gmail.com. Calling me at my office at 978-388-0022, or contacting me on my website, Energy Psychologist amesburyma.com.
Beautiful. This is going to sound cheesy, but I believe there's a reason for everything. Your name is Will Newman. You have to have a will to heal, and that will bring on a new man or woman within you.
Yes.
The truth.
It's the truth. And I would like to comment on your observation of my compassion and passion. And that, I can say, is the spiritual integration that comes from my experience of God, through my faith in God coming to earth through Jesus Christ.
You can feel it. And that's all about energy as well. And you can feel your energy is you just want to help. You just want to help.
That's it.
and
That's
help us realize what's actually going on in our minds as we mentally beat ourselves up every single day. We don't need to. Thank you so much for today. Validation, also much to be learned here, and looking forward next time we get together.
You're very welcome. My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.